Hello everyone, this is Majid, and in this tutorial I want to show you how to design and implement a simple parking lot system with object-oriented design in PHP. So let's dive into our requirements and see what we are going to do today. Our requirements have two simple steps. First, we want to implement parking lot with a specific amount, for example 10. And also we will show some messages if our parking has not empty a slot. Also, we have vehicles which can park anywhere on the parking lot, of course. On the second step, we want to add some floor to our parking, and each floor has a specific capacity. In addition, we have cars and trucks instead of simple vehicles. Cars can park anywhere in the parking, but trucks should only park on the first floor. So let's jump to our code and see what we are going to do and implement this system step by step. So at first, I want to open up the terminal and initialize the composer. Yes, yes. Here we go. So, of course, I want to create app directory, and I need some index.php file. And in the composer.json, I want to autoload the file and the directory. So I should write autoload psr, come on, psr4, and so after this I should run the command composer dump autoload to generate vendor folder, and in the app directory I want to divide it into steps, so I want to create another directory called step 1, and also I want to create directory called step 2. Oh, I think I did wrong. So let's delete this index and here create index.php. So for the first requirement, I need some class called parking.php and also vehicle.php. So in the vehicle class, I should define class vehicle, and to keep it simple, I want to just add simple attribute called name to vehicle, and of course I want to add namespace step 1. So for parking, I think we need attribute like capacity, and of course we need some vehicles, and also I want to create constructor for this parking class and add capacity. At the first we create this object from this class. So add this capacity, and also I want to initialize vehicle with empty array. In other, we need function to park vehicles on the parking. I want to name it park vehicle, so it receives a single vehicle, and if counts of our vehicles greater than or equal capacity, I want to, for example, show an error message, for example, parking has not empty slot. PHP end of line. In the other case, I want to push this vehicle to our array, and also I want to print something like call the vehicle name, for example parked. So I think that's it. Let's go to index.php, require once the autoload folder, autoload file from vendor, and also I want to ini set display errors to see if we have error or not. And in this case I want to initialize and create parking object called parking, go to new app step 1 parking, and for example its capacity is 3, and I want to create some vehicle. For example, I want to name it V1, V2 and V3. And of course we should change these names. So we got 2 and 3, and let's park some vehicle to the parking. So let me create another object. So what's the name of the function? Park vehicle. And let's copy all of that. So we expect that vehicle 1, 2, 3 parked in the parking with no errors, and I want to see an error for parking vehicle 4, for parked vehicle 4, because the parking has 3 vehicle capacities. So let's open up the terminal and run the PHP file. Yes, it gives me parking has not empty a slot, so I think it should print the vehicle name. So let me see what happened here. Vehicle name, vehicle class. Oh yes, I missed the constructor. So it's received name and name, and let's run it one more time. Yes, that's worked. Vehicle 1 parked, vehicle 2 parked, vehicle 3 parked, and parking has not empty a slot. So this is the first requirement that we wanted to implement it. And let's comment this and switch and work on step B, part B. So the parking lot has 2 floors. Each floor can hold at most 10 vehicles. The vehicles can be car and truck, and the truck are not allowed to park in the second floor. So in this case we have parking again, parking.php, we have vehicle.php, we have car.php, truck.php, and I think we need parking floor.php. So let's copy the vehicle code that is very common to step 2 of this question, and also we need class car that extends from vehicle, and it's empty. There's truck, and also class car that it also extends from vehicle. So we need parking that in this case, so we have parking floor, and in this case it can add as many as you want, and you can add a lot of floor to this parking. So let me create constructor and initialize it with empty array, because at first we do not have any floor, and we need function to add floor to this parking. So it gives parking floor, and we push it to the parking floor. So let me add S after this to make it clean and clear. So I want to move the capacity into the floor. So in this case, parking floor has capacity, and also it has area of vehicle. Also, it should, I think, have permitted allowed vehicles, and I think that's it. So let's add capacity to this constructor, and we need allowed vehicles array, and also I want to add some attribute like name to this floor. So we got name, capacity, and allowed vehicles. So let me copy this, add this one, name, capacity, and allowed vehicles. And also in this case we want the function to, for example, so we can park the vehicles. And in this case it receives vehicle. So like step 1, we should check if parking has enough space. Vehicles have enough space, so parking floor has enough empty slot. In other case, we should push the vehicles to the vehicle array, but of course in this case we should check that are this car or vehicle allowed to park in this flow. So I want to create a function called is vehicle allowed to park in this floor, and it returns true or false. And if vehicle allowed to park, so that it parked. In the other case we should say okay, vehicle.name is not allowed to park in this floor. So we should just implement this function. I want to define it as private function, and it received vehicle. And in this case we have allowed vehicles, so it is an array, so I should loop over this array and allowed vehicle and check if vehicle instance of this allowed vehicle, so return true, and in other case return false. So I think that's it. Let me over to index.php and run these classes. So I think we have parking, and also we need some floor. For example, parking floor, its name floor, for example, first, capacity 3, and allowed vehicles, for example, I should say app step 2 car class is allowed, and also truck. in the first floor, and in the second floor one, and parking floor 2, but it's in the second floor only cars can park, so I should add this floor to the parking, add floor. So in this case, okay, and I just add 2 floors to the parking. So let's create some vehicles like car and truck. So car 1, car 2, truck 1, and truck 2. So in this case I should change the namespace here. Car 1, car 2, truck, and truck 1 and 2. So let's add some vehicle to the floors. So park, I just forgot the function name. So car 1, 2, and truck 1, and also truck 2. And for the second floor, I want to add car 1, and in this case we do not have any chance to park a truck on the second floor, and also the first floor has capacity 3, so in this case we got error because it can hold only 3 vehicles. So let's open up the terminal and PHP run this code. So in this case we have an error, so let me see what happened here. Okay, because we are not initializing this vehicle class, and yes, car 1 parked, car 2 parked, truck 1 parked, and in this case we got parking floor has not empty a slot, and for the second floor we receive car 1 parked, and in this case we are not allowed to park any truck to the second floor. So I hope you like this tutorial, and feel free to ask any question. Also, do not forget to hit the subscribe button, and have a nice day.